Welcome to day three. And day three, the last day of our masterclass. And super excited to have you back. Those of you who've been here for 3 days straight, type three in the chat box. And those of you who are here for the first time, if today is your day one, just type one in the chat box. And those of you who have been here for 2 days, like any of the 2 days, type two in the chat box and also tell us where you are joining us from. I'm super excited to have you here. It's been a wonderful journey. And so I'll give you a few minutes, a few seconds to type in the chat box and introduce yourself. And looking forward to today's session. Welcome back, Peter. It's good to see you. See you back. Watching from Durban. You've been with us for 3 days. Congratulations and welcome, Jack Chadukwa from Lusaka, Zambia. Welcome. And everybody else, just tell us where you're joining us from and tell us how many times you've been with us. Halidou Diallo from Senegal. Patience Magodo from Zimbabwe. Hi, Patience. Funkino from Mr. Tini. Oh, fantastic. We've got good friends there. Claudia and the husband who run Black Mamba. They make the most amazing chilies in the world, actually, like the chili sauces. So check out Black Mamba from Mr. Tini. Hello, VJ. It's good to see you again. Good to have you back. Welcome back. Sekopotso, Liboa, Libya. From Polokwane, 2 times being part of this masterclass. Excellent, excellent. Well done, well done. So today is the last day of our masterclass, but not the last day of the journey. So those of you already part of the community, encourage you to continue having conversations with us in the community. And then those of you who haven't joined the Startup Circles community, by all means join us. We are on WhatsApp and Telegram. And you can just go to startupcircles.ai and click on the links here to join the groups. And we try to make entrepreneurship not to be lonely. Okay. Tawaya, welcome back, welcome back. Excellent, excellent. It's good to have everybody back. So far what we've covered that we looked at why do you want to build an investable business. So helping you to reconnect with your dreams, right? So there are hobbies and then there are businesses. And sometimes we are pursuing activities thinking they are businesses, but those are hobbies, and we want to make sure that we're pursuing some activities and then we find that actually those activities are not making money. They remain hobbies, sadly. But if you want to just have a hobby, that's perfectly okay, but just be aware that it is. And then if you want to turn your side hustle or some activities that you've been having and they're not transforming or turning into money, and turn them into a business, this is what the whole the masterclass has been about, and that's what we're about at Startup Circles, because we believe that all of us as entrepreneurs, when we're starting out, we have a vision or we have a passion or we have something that we really believe in that we want to solve. So there's always a mismatch for most entrepreneurs between I want to solve this and then this is what investors want. And we then sometimes it's like, okay, I won't get investors. That's fine. I'm going to just continue like this. Other times it's like feeling that, do I need to change what I'm doing to fit investors? Then it feels like, am I selling out? Am I failing? Am I losing my original vision, or losing myself, or losing myself? But what it is actually, it's understanding that how can I present what I'm trying to do in a way that I could actually get other people to support me on the journey with resources or with their time or with their connections or just with their advice. That's what it is. So building a business that helps you to grow but also create the impact you want, right? And then also we looked at types of businesses, uh, the types of problems that businesses solve and why people pay you. Then we looked at how you can launch. How can you launch fast and launch with little or no money? How can you get people to believe in your vision? How can you show them like, look, I know what I'm talking about and it's working and it's going to be a big business? And we talked about why investors are so hard to impress, because businesses fail. 90% of new businesses just fail. Again, thinking of it in terms of 9 out of 10 businesses are going to fail, sadly. But then the interesting thing is that every entrepreneur thinks that it's the other guy's business that's going to fail, not mine. I'm the 1 out of 10 that's going to make it. Everybody else is in the 9 out of 10 that's not going to make it. But when investors are looking at you, they're thinking, how do we tell that you are actually in the 1 out of 9 that's going to fail or that's going to make it? And so there are certain things that you can show that you are on the right track and that you are gaining what we call traction, showing that your business is going somewhere. And the best type of traction is revenue, money. If you're not having revenue, you show that you have people willing to pay you money and getting things like pre-orders, people paying you part payments, people giving you letters of intent, people being on your wait list. Shows that people want what you have. There was something to look out for here is like A lot of people then just have users. Just having users is not good enough. You need to have users who say, hey, we want to pay you. Because if you start out with a freemium model, with a free model, and then afterwards you want to surprise your users, you say, hey, we want to sell you this, people actually never buy, or they feel like you are shifting goalposts, or you're switching bait. Okay, so we looked at all the different things that you could do to help you evaluate yourself. We looked at the 9 areas that investors look at. We looked at the 4-factor formula. And today we're going to look at how to meet and pitch investors. And this is super exciting. And then why are we doing this? Why are we doing this masterclass? For free, right? Like you can ask all your questions you want. We'll give you the answers, and we're not like, remember, how many of you remember those old adverts where they say, do you know the secret to raising money? You say, okay, one thing you need to learn to raise money. You're like, oh, cool, I want to know the one thing. And then, like, you click, then it says, enter your credit card details here. Like, that was super frustrating. Like, Then over time, we lost trust when somebody says, yeah, how to get 6-pack abs in 2 weeks. I'm like, it's one of those again. I click on it and say, enter your credit card here. But it's not like that. Here we give you all the answers. You don't need to work with us. You can take everything we've given you today here and do it on your own. Okay, you can. We give you so much value, as you've noticed that in the last 2 days. And then today, we filled the sessions with lots and lots of value. Value. That's what we believe. We don't believe in scarcity. We believe in abundance. We know that if you learn something from us, you build an amazing company, you're going to change your life. You're going to change your family's life. And then you're going to change your employees' life. And you change their families' lives. And you change your community. And you change economies. And we build our countries because of businesses that succeed. Okay, so we believe that. So that is why we're doing it. And then also we know that today we also will make an invitation to some of you saying, look, I'm ready to go. I want to make this happen. I want to work with you, Startup Circles, on this journey to build a business that attracts investors. Then you join our programs. But those of you who feel like it's not the right time or I can't do this, it's okay, because we also know that when your business actually works and you make money, you're going to join us. Well, right now I'm thinking like, I can't afford programs right now. I need to make money. That's also perfectly okay. So you should be typing your questions in the chat box. My team is going to take note of all the questions and we'll answer all of them and make sure that everything is covered today. All right. And a little bit about me. Those people who haven't met me before, my name is Sandras. So Sandra with an S at the end. The last S makes the biggest difference. Okay. So I am the CEO and founder of StartupCircles.ai. And what we've done with Startup Circles is building Africa's most. We're building. Startup Circles is a practical business school for entrepreneurs. We believe in just being practical, straight to the point. We give you just the things you need to move to the next level to grow your business. So I'll help you to grow your business by accessing the expert guidance that you need and also helping you to access capital. So we have a team of founders and investors and guest mentors that come on board from time to time to give you the feedback you need. But most importantly, investors are saying, hey, we're looking to invest and this is what we're looking for. So we had a session where we were chatting with Lelemba. Lelemba is an investor. And she explained what the common mistakes that people make, and then also that there is money. So there isn't an issue of that, an issue of lack of investors. The issue is lack of investable businesses. That's the problem. That's the problem we're having. And the startup circles, we are helping solve that problem. And that's our business. Okay? And my background is I grew up in a little town, a little village in Zambia, near the borders with Malawi and Mozambique. I was listening to radio in Malawi and Channel Africa as well. It was a small town. We had like 5 cars, right? They were teaching us how to cross the road, and it was funny because I wondered like, what's so difficult about crossing the road? They're like, when everybody goes to the office in the morning, there are no cars on the road. Okay, there was the car for the priest, for the nuns, for the district governor, for the school, for the secondary school, and for one rich man. You know? So that was my reality, and that time the dream was we want to eat ice cream. Me and my little brothers, were asking Dad, like, Dad, when you go to the city, you should bring us ice cream. He says, ice cream. When I come back with ice cream, it's just going to be milk with sugar. You know, by the time we get back here, it's like, because that's what it is. Like, no, ice cream, ice cream. The dream was ice cream. And then my dad retired. He was primary school inspector. We went to the village. And at the village, we were looking after cattle. We were looking after, we were walking to school like 6.5 kilometers one way and 6.5 back. And that was the life. It was quite interesting. And then I went to the city for the first time when I was in grade 4. And we lived in a township. We lived in a one-roomed house. And one room, for a lot of people, when we say one room, people think, oh, one bedroom apartment. Like, no, it was one room, one. Like everybody in that room. My mom, my dad, me, my little brother, and like all of that. That's the living room. That's the kitchen. That's the bedrooms. That's pretty much everything. And when we lived there for about 2 or 3 years, then we upgraded, went to another township, which is Chivolia, which is like the roughest township in Lusaka, and there we lived in a 2-roomed house. So at least my parents had their own room. Me and my brothers, we just all slept in the living room, the kitchen and everything. And in the morning, we'd wake up early in the morning to go to the market and help go to the market and buy bread and milk and go door to door selling to the neighbors. And then in the afternoon, we'd go and draw water at the neighbor's house to get ready for school. And when we come back from school, we'd go to the neighbors and water their flowers, and they allow us into their house to watch TV because we had no electricity, no water. We watched TV at the neighbor's house, which was like my friends, and we watch that all-star wrestling. Who remembers that? And after that, my parents went back to the village. I went to seminary. Yeah, I was training to be a priest. Me, priest. Ha! I think maybe I could have been pope by now, right? I don't know. And but when I was in grade 11, my dad passed away, and then when I was in grade 12, a week before my final exam, my mom passed away. And so it was rough, but I managed to pass to go to university where I did computer science, and I learned about like real entrepreneurship now from learning about like you can make a difference from providing a service and people buying from you. And then in order to make ends meet, while I had my siblings pay for part of my fees, I needed to make up the other fees because I got the government bursary that paid 50% of my fees. But I needed to find the other 50%. Sometimes my siblings came in, other times I needed to make ends meet. So what I did was I became a bootlegger. I would go to the city, to Lusaka. My university was in Copperbelt, in the Copperbelt province. I'd go to the city, buy spirits, brandies, vodkas, whiskeys, and take them back to campus, get the students drunk, and they'll give me their money. and that's what I would use then to pay the rest of my fees and to party like the cool kids and to just to just go through the rest of my university education. And when I finished, I joined a web dev company, and then I started my first company, which was a web dev company. Then I joined a mobile payments company. I joined a bank. I moved to Cape Town. I worked for uh, a switch for unit trusts. Then I did an MBA at UCT, and I quit my job to run an education company. So, whilst in Zambia, I had an entertainment company, put like Zambian music online. We had T-shirts, like name it. To here, I was selling fish and like just different things, hustling until get to a point when I decided like I want to build a big company. It stops being a side hustle. It stops being a lifestyle business, but it becomes a growth business. And that's when the shift happened. And I started learning what makes a difference. And it was frustrating because I was feeling like investors don't understand me. And then when I was pitching to other people, I got feedback saying, no, 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 change this, do this. When you say this, investors hear this and that. And all that knowledge I never knew. And that was the part of the journey to build out an education company that helps entrepreneurs like you. So that's part of my story. But today, really, we're going to talk about how you also can change your company's trajectory. Okay, I startup circles bootstrapped. We managed to raise investment, and you can also change how your business is presented. Okay, because again, it's like what we said, it's like a language. When you're saying certain things or you're saying things that people don't understand, they don't get what you mean, even if you saying amazing things. So the same thing when you're talking to investors and saying certain things, they feel like, oh, this is raising flags and all of that. Okay, so continue to type your questions in the chat box, and we're looking forward to today's session. Today we're going to cover how to meet investors, your one-line pitch, and your 10-slide pitch deck, and any other questions that you might have. Are we ready to jump into it? Ready to rock and roll? Excellent. Cool. Let's start with the one-line pitch. Your one-line pitch helps you to describe your business in one sentence. A lot of people struggle to describe their business in one sentence. No, 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 I need lots of space. This is difficult. How am I going to do this? Because I need time. Do you have time, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes for me to explain my business? The answer is that people don't have time, investors don't have time. So how can you describe a business in one sentence? Here is the formula for describing a business in one sentence. You say your company name is building or provides or is, then you specify your key offering, okay, that enables, then you define your target market. 2, then you outline the problem you solve by describing your secret sauce. So you can end here, okay? But because we talked about the one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs miss out is actually thinking about how they make money. So you add this, we make money by, then you describe your business model, okay? You describe the business model there. A lot of people do not describe the business model. It's like, how do you make money? Like, we'll make money sometime in the future. We're like Twitter, you know. We'll go the Twitter model. We'll figure it out in the end, in the future. So they have certain models that work in Silicon Valley and certain models that work in emerging markets or work in Africa. So I've had the opportunity now of working with entrepreneurs from over 50 countries, talking to over 100 founders of big companies, and traveling to 22 countries, been to Silicon Valley a few times now. And last year, we were in Silicon Valley actually, just before COVID hit. So the thing that we learned, like one major difference between Silicon Valley and here is that, first of all, similarity. Everybody in the world believes that If only they got money, their businesses will work. So the number one complaint globally for entrepreneurs is that lack of funding, lack of capital. So this is not unique. Even in the US, in Europe, say we need money, we need money. But the other reality is that actually money doesn't solve business problems. That's why 75% of companies that receive funding still fail. Okay? So then the other interesting thing now, the difference was that we found was that in Silicon Valley, because you have a lot of people that made lots of money. Okay, sometimes you can have employee number one to employee number four of a company. They are all billionaires, meaning they've got money to spare. And then employee number one to employee number 20, they're all multi-millionaires, and people have got lots of money, and they are looking for opportunities. And if they put money in the bank, they get very little interest, maybe 2%, 3%. They believe it's better investing in some startup that might make some money in the future. Might. Not even sure. Like just taking bets. So because it's got a different type of money problem, they can invest in something which might work in the future. That's why you have companies that raise money like, we don't know the business model yet, and we will do this. But in Africa and a lot of other emerging markets, people want to see traction, say like, how are you going to make money? So when you're building your company, think about making money right away. It sets you up correctly. I've spoken to people like Steve Blank, Silicon Valley legend, entrepreneur, founder, a legend, the one who taught Eric Ries, and Eric Ries started the Lean Canvas, the Lean startup movement. He talked about the issue of entrepreneurs now need to think about how to make money, as opposed to, we are startups, we just need to burn money. We don't need to think about revenues. And then a lot of investors now are also looking at, we were actually, even in Silicon Valley, saying, look, we want to see revenue, we want to see traction. And people like DHH, co-founder and CTO of Basecamp, also say the same thing. Like, you need, the reality is that a business needs to make money. You will be a startup, burn lots of cash, because some people say, no, it's okay, burn the cash, we'll have traction later. But after a while, revenue is like gravity, it's reality. Like at some point, it comes in, you can't ignore it. You will need to make money. So all of those things are there to just help you think about, like, how do you build a business that works? So in Silicon Valley, lots of money, people could be investing in a little bit more speculative businesses, whereas other markets, you need solid stuff that makes money. Okay? So this is the model. If we're using an example of Startup Circles, we'll say Startup Circles is building, or Startup Circles is a practical business school that enables early stage entrepreneurs to grow their businesses by equipping them to access capital, or equipping them with the skills to access capital and helping them to access capital. We make money by selling programs. That's what we do. So in one sentence, I could talk to an investor and say, hey, Startup Circles is a practical business school that enables early stage entrepreneurs to grow their businesses by equipping them to access capital. We make money by selling programs as one-off or subscription. And in one sentence, an investor will understand, like, oh, okay, you're a school, okay, education, cool, I get it. And you sell programs, cool. Your target market is early stage entrepreneurs, fantastic. The problem you solve for them is growing their businesses, cool, I get it. And your secret sauce is like, you give them access to the knowledge and the actual investors. Wow, that's so cool. That's what it is. That's what you do here. Okay, so copy this, take a screenshot, and I hope you got the screenshot of the other one as well, where you should practice how to do this. Okay, this is not easy to do. Okay, Blaise Pascal, who was one of the great French philosophers, scientists, said something interesting. He said, he wrote a letter. He said, I could have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. Okay? I could have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. Because writing short things actually requires you to think. And it's totally worth taking the time. to think through this and writing something short and straight to the point. This will take you some time to do, but when you do it, it's so liberating because it helps you think through pretty much your business. Okay, you think about like, what is your key offering? What is your key offering? So it will be, um, so you can type out in the chat box. By the way, you can use this model. We'll see how you're describing your business. So it could be, my business, Canal Walk is a shopping center that enables, you can say like whatever, the shops, or like, people love shopping, or whatever. Two, then what problems you solve for them to access multiple shopping shops in one place by giving them all-in-one experience that gives them whatever. We make money by, you describe how you make money. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to seeing your examples. So, how do you meet investors? In order to meet investors, think about the challenges that investors face. Okay, investors don't have time. They receive lots of pitches, 30 plus pitches per day. Some investors receive 200 pitches a day. And then they just have no time to review all of them and to answer your questions and to read your business plans and to read everything that you're sending. They have funds to invest, but not enough appropriate companies. So they want to have a shortcut saying, how do I know if this company is worth the time? So they're always thinking of shortcuts. So if you send that one line pitch, the one I showed you, you can introduce yourself to an investor who say, oh, okay, your business is in data science, crypto, or fintech, or farming or agriculture. I'm interested, or I don't do agriculture, I do real estate. So with investors, you want to meet the right investors. It's not like you're trying to just get anybody. There are good investors, there are also bad investors. Okay? Some of the mistakes that people make now when they are trying to talk to investors is that they talk to wrong investors. If you want to talk to an investor, look them up and see what they invest in. And most of them will say on the website that we only do e-commerce and e-commerce in these regions. And then some will tell you that I want to see a full pitch deck. Other people say, no, I want an introduction. Other people will say, I invest in women founders. Others will say, actually, it doesn't matter, but I invest in West Africa, or I invest in Europe. So just look them up. Take a little bit of time to look them up. Then next problem is long unclear emails or messages. People write long stuff, and I'm certain that some of you have written stuff to me and it was too long. I said, okay, I'll get back to it, or I'll get to the point of this, and there is no time. Then other things come up, now I can't get back to the long messages. Long messages are just not read. Okay, there's a term called TLDR, like too long, did not read. You will see it in online a lot, or in tech forums. So sending long business plans is another problem. The other issue is no online presence. So when you approach an investor asking for money or introduction or anything, if what you're saying is interesting, they will look you up. They'll be like, oh, Sandra's Startup Circles. Then they'll just go quick Google search and find, like, I can't find anything. There's Facebook Startup Circles. There's this and there's that. Like, there's Sandra Guest House. There's Sandra Bullock. So like, I can't find who this person is. It's very difficult for them to move on. Okay? So at least if you don't have a website, have a LinkedIn profile that says the right things about you. And LinkedIn, again, just have your picture there and description of what you do and your company. But if you have LinkedIn and then you say, I'm looking for a job, and then on this side you're saying, I'm looking for investments, like, there's a mismatch again there. Okay? Then where do you find investors? You can find investors from angel investor networks. You can look at lists. There's Angel List, there's Africa uh, 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 business angel networks. There's VC for Africa. There are just a lot of them, and some are specific to regions, others are specific to countries. And you can find them on LinkedIn. If you go into your search and say investor in the term, in the title, it will show you a lot of people. And then just some research online to show you that. Okay. And also, very, very powerful is introductions. Okay, a lot of investors say we do not take unsolicited emails or pitch decks. So what you need there is an introduction. Find somebody who knows the person you want to talk to, then ask them if they can introduce you. And how you do that, you make it super easy for that person to introduce you by even typing out what you want them to say or writing something in such a way that the person can just forward it. Okay? So don't write an email like, "Hey, Sandra, are you able to introduce me to investors in your network?" It's very difficult. Like, what do I tell them? Okay, they trust me with like with all with their time and all of that. Like, what do I tell them? So what you do instead is saying, Sandra, I am working on that one line pitch. Okay, one line pitch, and this is what I'm doing. And so far, we have gained this type of traction, and we are looking to talk to investors that are looking to invest in this or that or that. Are you able to introduce me to the right people in your network? And what I'll do then in that case, when somebody receives an email like that, like easy, all the work is done. I won't have to ask like, why do you want to meet them? What do you want to talk about? Because you've spelled it out and it's not long. Then I just hit the forward button, forward, copy you in or reply you, and then send to the other person. Say, hey, Kenan, I've got Funkino, who's a friend of mine and working on a great startup. Would be interested. Would it be something that's of interest to you? See below. I'm saying see below. I'm not saying Funkino is doing this and that, and like for me to figure out what you're doing, you need to do that work for yourself. So a lot of times people don't get introduced because they make the person they're asking a favor to do the work for them. Try to make the work super easy for the other person to help you. Then, another way of finding investors is startup circles. So, startup circles, we have lots of investors from different countries that come in and they're part of our network and they are asking all the time. They're saying, hey, do you have startups that are doing this? Do you have companies that are doing this? And we do make the introduction. But the downside is that a lot of the startups actually are not ready or they don't present their information right. So it makes it super difficult to introduce them. So what we do instead, we ask like we find it super easy to introduce the people who have already been on our programs, right? Like on demo day, you will definitely meet the entrepreneur, the investors. And if you're outside the programs, you're part of our alumni for any program, you've written out your pitch deck, you've got your one line pitch, and you're saying, I'm looking for this. Our startup circles, we do the introduction, we just send it over to the person that we believe is the right one for you. That's how you find investors. Okay, these are examples of the investors that write to us saying, "Hey, I'm looking for people to invest in." So, for instance, this is an email from one of the managing partners at a VC firm. Says, "Hey, Sandra, congrats. Good to hear that you're venturing into startup education and acceleration. Not sure if you're referring to another mentions in the name in your email. Let us know if anything interesting comes across your desk. Would love to be able to invest in them. We're currently looking for freight logistics and healthcare startups in Africa at seed and Series A stage. And we prefer startups serving Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Egypt. We're looking to write checks of between 250 and 2 million. Do you see how this email is written? Okay, this is written very well. Of course, this person is an investor, so knows that people don't have time, and it's the same thing for you. Just write something short. It says, "Hey, we'd like to invest in companies. We're looking for very clear freight, logistics, healthcare. in Africa at seed and Series A. Very clear. And then we're looking for these countries. And then the investment we make is 250, 2 million. So that when you come through startup circles, I know when you are in seed stage or Series A stage and you're in healthcare and you're based in Kenya, I know who to send you to. I say, hey, we've got this company and they are looking to raise 500,000 because it falls within your mandate. That's what we do. Very, very clear. Same thing here. You see a very short email. How are you doing? How's Startup Circles initiative going? We currently have some funds to deploy. Can you hear that? Funds to deploy. And we're wondering if you've come across any post-revenue tech businesses. So very clear again here. It's post-revenue, meaning if you're not making money, if they are not making money, don't send them to me. They need to have been making money. And then they need to be tech businesses. Okay, would appreciate any introductions. Then I know, like, okay, these are the companies that are making money in tech. Then I send them through to them. We send them through to them. That's what we do. And then how to introduce yourself. Creatively engage with them. Okay, whether it's Twitter or events or posts on reply on their posts, their blogs, and there you just don't say, great post. My name is, see, this is my site. No, you contribute something useful to them that they actually notice you. And then you do a brief intro like we've talked about, and then you give them your one-line pitch. Then you do something, you something that make you stand out. So if you say, hey, I read your book on, or I read your article on, or I watched your video where you said this, that also shows like you're not just shooting in the dark, spray and pray. And then most importantly, you see in bold there, only ask for one thing. One thing. So don't say, hi, I'm looking for a meeting. First of all, if you haven't met anybody before, you don't know them, don't ask for a meeting. The meeting is too much of an engagement for someone. Like, meet you, why? I don't know you. Meeting is time. So you're asking for something very easy. That is this something of interest to you? And they can easily say, yes, it is. And then there you can pick it up. Okay? And then ask for one other thing and make it super easy. Then a mistake that people make here is saying, hey, first of all, long email, and then they start saying things like, check out my website, see I've attached my pitch deck here, this is my video, and then this is like so many links in one email. And you know what people do when you ask them to do more than one thing? They do nothing. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit of a story of somebody that went through our program. This is Michelle Carosa. She runs a company called Feel Good Health, and Feel Good Health has been running for a very long time. She's been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. So imagine somebody like that coming to us saying, hey, I want to learn. I want to learn. And then she does, and now she's actually raising money. So for her as well, she knows how to run a business. The business is doing very well. So some of you have used her products without knowing. Like if you buy natural medicines from the big stores, the big like natural medicine stores, you probably have had Michelle's products or something that she stocks. But she's got an inspiring story. Let's check that out, and then we are going to look at how you can put together a 10-slide pitch deck. So we had a conversation for about 12 minutes with Michelle, which is super, super cool.
So I'm Michelle Carlson, and I'm the founder of Feel Good Health. And we supply natural and organic health and lifestyle products to the public on a website called feelgoodhealth.coza and naturalwholesalers.com. We supply wholesale customers throughout South Africa. I've probably been in business seriously for about 20 years. So I started Feel Good Health quite a while back, and it was as a sort of almost like as they say today, it was a side hustle. So I'm a clinical psychologist, and at the time I had a practice, and Feel Good Health was started as a sort of an add-on to my practice without ever really thinking that it was going to become my main business, which it did. I gave up my practice about 12, 15 years ago. I gave it up completely because I couldn't cope with the two. So Feel Good Health really took over from my practice without me intending it to do that at the beginning.
Okay.
I came across startup circles via Enigma Ventures at first. So I was looking at getting investment for my company because I felt that I was in a really good place and I was growing, but I felt like all the while that I was growing Feel Good Health, I was funding it. So there's a limit to how fast you can grow a business without additional funding.
How many times did you apply to Enigma Ventures?
I applied twice. So the first time I applied, it wasn't. I think, like probably most smaller business owners, we don't really have any idea about how funding works and what funders do. They are just sort of some mysterious creatures out there or companies that hopefully are going to give us some money, but we're not sure what they want. And I think I had quite an old-fashioned view of how funding works and how you apply for funding, that you must do a big business plan and that it has to be very elaborate. And ultimately, that's the way that I applied the first time. So put together a business plan. Also, at the time, as I said, I've got Feel Good Health, which is to the public, sells to the public, and Natural Wholesalers sells wholesale. So at the time, Natural Wholesalers had only just started. So it was really in its infancy. So there wasn't really much traction to show. There wasn't much activity going on. It was right at the beginning. And I knew the potential of Natural Wholesalers because I'm very familiar with the health market in South Africa, natural health market. But I didn't have much to show. So basically, I spoke a lot about potential and, how wonderful it was. And obviously, I got quite far in the first round. I was actually selected for the shortlist, but ultimately I dropped out of that. I didn't get the funding, and I thought, oh well, I left it for a while, and then I'm typically somebody, when I decide to do something, one gate closes, I find another one. So I believe that this business can be big. I believe that I can grow it. I know this industry inside out. I know that it's got potential, but I would like to do it faster. And then I thought to myself, let me do it again, but I don't know where I went wrong. I didn't think I'd gone wrong as such, because obviously there were a lot of very good applicants, and I did make it to that, which shows me that they did see some potential in me, but something about the way that I didn't bring me right to the top. And then I started to go back on the website and have a look, and then I had joined you on Facebook, Startup Circles, and saw that there was a free masterclass, which I joined. And then you spoke a little bit about the investment funding and that there are ways in which you're better qualified to succeed if you do things in a certain way. And I thought, well, let me give that a try.
Great.
Seeing as my first one didn't work.
Before joining Ignition, so you decided that I'm going to join Ignition. Did you have any skepticism or hesitation before joining the program?
Not really. I thought maybe, in a sense, my business was a bit more mature than the other businesses on the program. And I wasn't, that might have been the only slight skepticism. I think I voiced that to you at the beginning, that is this the right place for me? Because a lot of the other business, and also your name, Startup Circle. So I'm not a startup, but in a sense, the natural wholesalers part of the business was a startup. And the main focus is on how to approach investors. So in my mind, I felt it's really the same whether you're a startup or you've been going for a while. If you don't know how to talk the language, then you don't know how to talk the language. So let me go ahead and give it a try. I think that in a number of ways it's helped me, in the sense that my initial sort of, the thing that attracted me was how to do the pitch deck, how to approach the investors, how to talk to the investors. But what was also a bonus for me was that it taught me to think about my business in a different way. I think that most of us entrepreneurs, we people that we fly by the seat of our pants. So every day we're doing something, we're trying this, or we're trying that. And yes, it's important to look at things like unit economics, what is profitable, what isn't profitable. But for me, like many other people, my business grew, and I was so busy in my business, growing my business, dealing with the issues every day, that I didn't have a chance. Or maybe it's not that you don't have a chance, it's that you just don't make a chance. So in a way, the course with Startup Circles helped me to say, make that space, and I had to make that space because I committed myself to doing that. And it's not easy. It's not, it's not that you just have lots of time to do a lovely course and whatever. It's, you've got to commit yourself to it. If you're going to go in, I think we've said before, and you say, okay, I want to lose weight, so therefore I'm going to take these slimming herbal drops and I'm going to eat as much chocolate as I like. And then afterwards I'm going to say, oh, but it doesn't work. The same thing. So if you're going to go into Startup Circles and you're going to say, okay, now Sandras, give me the answers and this is what I want to do and make it happen, and then I don't do the work, then obviously, you're not going to get anywhere. But I think what it did was it made a space for me. And because I was determined to use that space, I made time to do it. I'm not going to go into something and then just waste my time and waste my money. So people who are really feeling they're hungry, they want the business to work, they want investment, they want to see what's going on, and they put in the time, they will succeed. And I think that's advice that I could give to anybody. So obviously during the program, you learn to put together a very well-focused pitch deck, which you get a chance to present to people, particularly amongst them investors, so that you can get feedback and refine it and chop out all the unnecessary stuff that we would want other people to know all about our lovely business, but the investors don't have the time to hear that, and just present the essentials. So we went through that process, and ultimately they liked right at the end of the course, there is the opportunity to pitch seriously to the investors, and they loved what I presented to them. They loved the business, and then so they said that they would be very happy to work with me and invest in my business so that we can grow together. So that was fabulous. That was really an exciting moment for me. And at the moment, I'm busy working with them to give them they're obviously doing their due diligence and they need lots of info from me. So I'm busy giving that to them. And hopefully very soon I've got lots of plans that I'm waiting to put some rocket fuel into and get them off the ground.
Brilliant. Well done, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you for your help, Sandras.
You're welcome. You did the work. You were like super impressive. You put in the work, you work hard, and you understand things, and then you apply. But you're very determined. So well done to you.
Thank you.
What would you say to someone who's considering joining Startup Circles or signing up right now, but was on the fence?
I would tell them to give it a shot. Give it their best shot, because basically nothing changes unless you do something different. So I'm a very good example of someone who's been working hard at my business. I'm a very hard worker. I think that I'm very good at what I do, but I was still feeling that, I keep on doing the same thing, but I want to see those huge results. I'm seeing a little bit of them. I can see I'm going in the right direction, but the explosion is not happening. That's what I want. What must I do? Must I do this or should I do that? I didn't know, so I felt I can do a lot more of what I'm doing if I have investment. Plus, I like the fact that with investment comes more interaction, more support, more exposure to, they've got a lot of businesses that they work with. So if I've got a problem, oh, this is a difficult thing for me. Oh, well, why don't you try that one? So I would say to a person who's not sure, what do you actually have to lose? Really, you want to make changes, you want to grow, but if what you're doing is making you grow and it's fantastic and wonderful and off you go, then okay, then you don't need to do something maybe. But if you are feeling like that, I know what I've got has got huge potential. I know I can make it happen. I just need some, not only financial support, I also need some insight into how and what I'm doing. And so that person should really take the leap, because you don't have anything to lose and you've got everything to gain.
Brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to say or add? If you could speak from the heart to someone who's watching this right now, is there anything else you'd like to say to them?
I would say just go for it. You've got, as I say, I've been in the industry for a long time. And maybe that slight skepticism at the beginning, as I explained to you, but am I, should I really be, will I gain from this, or whatever? I learned a lot of new things that I can apply to my business, that help me understand my business in a particular way. I didn't come into the course with that intention. I came into the course, I want investment, I want to learn how to speak the language, I want to do that. I was very single-minded about that. But what I also got on the way, as I say, for me was a bonus. Okay, I didn't think of looking at it in this way before, but look at that product. It's not actually making me any profits. Why have I got this product in my shelves still? But look at that one. It's got such a good profit margin, but I'm hardly paying attention to it. It gives you a different way of looking. There were things that I would have done previously, which I won't do now, because I can see I'm going to go down a dead end. Other things that I hadn't thought about, which I'm applying now already. So I would definitely say, put in the hard work. It's not easy. You've got to just go with it and work hard. And sometimes you've got to push yourself. Nobody's going to give you anything on a plate, but I think entrepreneurs know that anyway. So yeah, go for it. That would be my advice.
Excellent. How cool is that? How cool is that? So type one in the chat box if you found that was quite inspiring. With somebody like Michelle coming onto the program and just going through it and understanding. And now she's in due diligence and she's raising, I don't know how many millions. She's like, for her, it's way more because her business is more mature and she's got revenues. Already she's doing revenues of 5 million rand, which is about like $250,000 a year. So for her, the raise will be, I think it's about half a million to 1.2 million. But we'll know that later in the year. Not later in the year, actually, in the next coming few weeks when they finalize the due diligence with Michelle. That's super, super cool. Right. Cool. And please remember to type your questions in the chat box. If you got any questions still, just type them out in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Cool. All right. Now we're going to look at the 10 slide pitch deck. The 10 slide pitch deck, for those of you who are thinking like, okay, how do I present my business? What do I need to do? You can use the 10 slide pitch deck. Okay. The 10 slide pitch deck helps you just to put everything together in a very clear way. Like, we don't ask you to do business plans. People who ask for business plans are actually not entrepreneurs. They're not real investors. Bankers ask for business plans. There's a difference. Business plans have got a role. Bankers ask for them. Investors do not ask for business plans. When you go through an accelerator, they ask you to write a business plan. In reality, nobody reads those business plans. And then the numbers you made in Excel that you put down, those are imaginary numbers. Everybody knows anybody can make money in Excel. In reality, it's different. Yeah, it's easy to make money in Excel, but in reality, it doesn't. It's like very, very, very different. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has got a plan until they get punched in the face. So everybody in the business, like, yeah, we'll do this and then you do that, and then we make so much money. And then in reality, it's like, oh, it's hard. Customers are not playing according to the script. Okay, so let's look at the 10 slide pitch deck. This one, when you join our program, we'll give you this. We'll give you the template. So on the first slide, it gives you, you have to put in the title, name of your company, and your one-line pitch or simple description of what your company does. Okay. Then the next one is the problem slide. The problem is define the real problem you're solving for and for who. You can use a story to frame the problem here. Okay. But remember here to make sure that the problem is really aligned to what you are solving. People here make the mistake of talking about a big societal problem, but the company doesn't solve that. Then the problem sets the stage for your entire pitch. Okay, it must be the problem or that your product and your solution solves. So a solution. In the third slide, you talk about your how you're going to solve the problem you previously shared. So the solution is the how you solve the problem that you talked about. And the difference between the solution and the product is that the product is the method in which you deliver your solution. Okay. Then here it's also important to talk about what are the trends that make your product or service possible. There's some trends which are going down, but there are some trends which are going up. So that's what you put here as well to say our solution is this, and we're thinking of this now because of this. Important to note, your solution is not your product. The product, here you show now your service or your product in itself, the method in which you're delivering your solution. And here you can show your screenshots, your diagrams, your demo. You can show your services. You can just show what exactly people are purchasing from you. And here, some businesses fail because they're saying, what are people paying for? What are they buying? And then say, oh, no, 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 no. We are a community and we're doing this. And then the value is that one day people are going to do this. Like, no, no, but your current customers, why are they paying you? Okay. And then market slide. This one is important because you are here to show how big the market is and the portion of the market that you're targeting. And here you can also show growth trends. And there are two ways of looking at the market. One is top down, the other one is bottom up. Top down is the one I've shown here, where you say there are 1.9 billion people in Africa and there are 57 million entrepreneurs. And we are targeting early stage entrepreneurs who are only about 10.6 million. Okay? So when you do this, it helps investors to see how big your market is. Like, how big can it be? Because there are certain markets which are not big. If we're saying I'm selling wetsuits that can only be used by black men in South Africa, Bloberg. Like, okay, wetsuits, like black men are going swimming. Like, okay, how many black men go swimming in the ocean? How many black men swim, right? Okay, like how big is that market? And then they can only swim in Western Cape in South Africa. That's not a very big market. So you're saying I want 1 million, but the number of people we can serve is so little, it doesn't work very well. So this slide helps you to figure out how big, and if we were to do everything, how big can it really go? Okay, and you show this instead of just showing in terms of number of people, you can also show it in terms of money being spent in the market in that area. The revenue model. How does your company plan to make money? Okay, and sometimes here companies would show, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do subscription, then I'll do this, then later I'll do this, then I'll do that. Like, focus on the one main method. Okay, when you're in the early stages, like there's so many things you could do, but if you're looking like you're all over the place, it's not attractive to investors. Then show your unit economics. Unit economics in simple terms would be your revenue minus your cost, and then gives you also your margin, like to understand, can you make money on this product? Do you know how much money you make when you deliver one unit of your product or one of your cost? And we teach you all of that. We teach you all of that and we guide you on that. When you know your unit economics, you will know that, okay, we're not charging enough, or this model won't work. We need to change it. We can't run the freemium model like this, and this is not working for us. Okay. Then traction. Traction is, this is the solid one, the golden one. This is gold. When you show traction, you're showing that your business is going somewhere. What have you done? What have you achieved? What have you learned that proves your business is going somewhere? And here you show revenue, number of customers to date, pivots, lessons, licenses, approvals, MVPs, and all of that. And traction, there's traction that matters and traction that doesn't matter. Traction that doesn't matter is like, we registered a company, we hired people, Like, yeah, so, anybody can register a company. I could register 3 companies today. But registering a company doesn't mean anything really. But if people are paying you for a product, for something, that means something. So even when you have like, I've sold to 1 person, that's traction. And then you move like, we sold to 1, now we've sold to 3. Like, yeah, that's traction. Okay? It doesn't have to be in thousands or millions, but it's just showing that there is movement. Traction speaks louder than words. Remember that. Then your competition side, there are 2 ways to show that. You can use the magic quadrant, or this is the magic quadrant which you're showing here. Okay, and then you could also use the grid. The magic quadrant is easy to show, but it only shows the competitive advantage like in 2 dimensions. It's not very effective. So whilst we have it in the slide, we don't really recommend this one. You can use it, but not really recommended. And then you also show when you use the power grid, you put all your competitors on the top, like on top of each column, and then on the rows you show your features. Like, what are the features that you have and your competitors have, and then you tick them off, showing you're better than your competitors. And you want to make sure that you can tick all the things that matter. Okay. A mistake here that people make is to say we don't have competitors. When you say you don't have competitors, it shows 1 or 2 things. One, that you don't know what you're talking about. You always have competitors, and competition is also just the status quo, like what people are doing right now. That's competition. So you can have this also. It's possible that you don't have direct competition, but you always have competition. Then the second thing it shows is that while you're saying, I found a gap in the market, I found a gap in the market. The question is there a market in the gap? Is there a market in the gap? Maybe there's a reason why there is no competition. Okay, and I see that this with restaurants in your area. Have you seen where there's a certain location where there's always a new restaurant that starts up there, then 6 months later it closes, a new one pops up, it closes, then another one pops up, 1 year later it closes. Where I live, there's this one location that's always changing names for the restaurant. But every entrepreneur, every restaurateur believes mine will work. Maybe there's a reason why that doesn't work, that particular location. Okay? So if you're saying there is a gap in the market, just make sure that there is also a market in that gap. Then on the team, show your team and relevant experience and qualifications. Here, when you're pitching, don't spend too much time here unless what you're pitching really is what you're pitching is super specialized, and you need to show that you have the specialist skills. So if you're saying we are building rockets, then you can show that I've got a NASA rocket engineer on the team. Then I also have another one on the team. And then if you're going through names, whilst in the pitch deck you put everybody's names and what they've done. When you're pitching, you just talk about the combined experience and relevant stuff. Don't mention people's names one by one unless the names are like, I got Elon Musk on my board. I've got um, another big name, Trevor Noah, who is our evangelist. I've got this. Then it matters that you mention names. Other than that, it's okay to just say my team has got this type of experience. Then you move on. Then the investment ask. This is another critical one. State how much capital you're raising. Okay, and then what milestones do you want the investment to help you reach? This is very important. So mistake here again is that people say, we're raising money for operations. Like, what are you going to use the money for? Oh, businesses just need money. That's a bad answer. Okay, the investors are not investing you just to spend money on operations. They are investing money to help you reach a goal that helps you get closer to producing major returns for you and for them. Okay, just remember the difference here, that investors are not charities. They're not giving money say, hey, here's just some money out of goodwill, do whatever you want, and then afterwards you can give us a report. Even philanthropies, the foundations that give money to charity, they want returns. They will tell you what the returns are. Like, we want you to reach so many people, we want you to teach so many people, and we want you to give us these type of reports, and you should have done this and this and that and that. Okay, so everybody wants some some milestones that you're going to reach, and they want to see that. Then you can show how you're going to spend that money. But most importantly is like, what is that money going to help you achieve? So you can ask for too much money. There is such thing as asking for too much. And you can ask for too much when you're just in an idea phase. You say, I want to raise $1 million. It's too much. I want to raise a million rand. It's too much for an idea. Okay, you need to show that you can just get something running with with the resources that you've got, with nothing, and then later on you can raise more money. Okay, that's very, very important. The mistake here is that people feel like, I should just throw something out. So take a little bit of time to think like, how much money will help us to hit the next milestone. The next milestone could be to hit the point where we got product market fit. If in this case, like if it's super early stages, just to find out that we've created a product that people want to buy. And how do you know you've created a product people want to buy? Is that people now start buying from you without you trying to convince them too much. Then they start, it feels like a pool, like where people say, hey, we want what you've got, we want more of what you've got. They know that now we've hit product market fit. For the longest time, you're convincing people, it takes too long, then they buy, then they don't buy again. Then you can't do anything which is repeatable and scalable. And you can raise money to help you reach that point. Then when also you raise money, that when you've reached that point, now you can say, okay, we got products and services that people are buying. I want to raise money now for scaling, or just for the upshift phase that helps you to prepare for scale. You can ask for money for that, and there's money that takes you specific goals. Okay, cool. Remember to type your questions in the chat box. Matthew is saying, what do you do? Matthew is in Namibia. Saying, what do you do when you feel demotivated and distracted? Matthew, when you feel demotivated and distracted, it's important to reconnect with your mission. Why are you doing this? Think about why you're doing this. Like, what matters? Like, what do you want to produce? What's at stake here? And then also you can feel demotivated and distracted because you too many things going on. And also, when your goal is too big and you don't know where to start, like, how am I going to hit that? So instead, you break it down to smaller goals and you go step by step. And then another thing is to belong to a community. You're already part of the Startup Circles community. Just post in the alumni group saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm feeling. Then people support you. Say, oh, I'm feeling the same. Let's do this, let's do that. So you create cohorts of people working on the same thing. That's why if you're a runner, you meet with other runners and you run whatever frequency you've decided. If you're doing it alone, like one day you say, I'll do it, another day it's like, I won't do it. And then also, when you are trying to be fit, I love the fitness examples. Right? If you're trying to be fit, you join fit people that are running. Okay, so you go join runners. The worst thing you do when you're trying to get fit, right, it's getting other people who like cake and chilling. You say, hey guys, all of us, we love cake and chilling. Let's go form a running club, an exercise club. That's like recipe for failure. All of you will say, yeah, we will do it. And then one day, like, hey, I want to do it. No, I'm just going to have wine. And, oh, me too, cake. And like, okay, then failure, zero. So you don't work with people that, like you in the team, you shouldn't be the best. Like, I'm not the best in my team. Okay, I do my area that I do well, but there are other people who are super amazing behind the scenes. People like Christy, Lumbu, and then I've got like Blelemba, Sarah, Jake. We've got lots of, I'll show you now the number of people that we've got on the team that are doing great work. So this program is not even me putting it together. I'm just the CEO, but delivering of this is done by people way better than me. And I'll surround myself with people that are way better than me so that I stay good. And if I am slacking, it shows. And then I need to deliver and perform. That's what you do to stay motivated. Okay. Cool. So now let's talk about how you fast track. How do you fast track this process? How do you fast track? How many of you would like to track this process? Type 1 in the chat box. How do you fast track the process? Okay. How you fast track the process? This is where I'm going to make an invitation to those of you who want to fast track this process, saying, hey, I'm willing to just make sure that I make this faster. Um, I work with people that I've done this before and I don't want to figure it out on my own. I've figured it out, but I'm really struggling with some pieces here. I want to just know, because once again, it's like it's like a new language, or it's like doing something. For me personally, when I started getting results was when I stopped listening. Like when my financial situation changed was when I stopped listening to broke people. Like broke people giving other broke people advice. Like that's bad. Fat people giving fat people advice. That's like it doesn't work, right? Like so if you want to do something different, like I want to build a company that works. I stopped asking the people who are also struggling like me. Instead what I did is like I go to the people who are building companies, they've done it before, and then I ask them like, hey, can I have a chat with you and ask you some questions? That's what I did, like just asking questions of people who are making things happen. And you think, oh, okay, do this. And sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. You know? The same thing, like I used to weigh 10 kilos more than this. I had paid for a personal trainer, like, hey, help me do this. And that happened. But for the longest time, when I wanted to just like go figure it out or do it on my own, it's just very different results. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We're saying, how do you fast track? How do you make this work? You've spent a lot of money and time in all of this. How do you make it work? We got the startup launch program, which is a 3 month program, and in the 3 months, you get to pitch to investors every month, and then you also get to pitch and practice your pitch and learn. You gain traction in your business every week. So we've had people who've raised money within the 3 months of the program. And this is not guaranteed, like all of you raise money, but it's possible. It's been done. People like Kelly of Aya, you saw Kelly 2 days ago, raised money from idea to raising money. Lauren and Lauren and Mark, they raised money as well from idea, and they did it in 3 months as well. And then the other people who didn't do it in 3 months, they did it in 12. Other people are still in the program and they're still working on it. But what happens is that you know what you're working on, and you also know what that your business is working, or is your idea is a business or it's not. Okay. So how much is the startup launch program? How much? How much? How much? How much do you think it is? Now, before I talk about how much, let's talk about some of the people that you are going to learn from. Okay, like I said, I'm surrounded by amazing people. You're gonna learn from people like Mumpotam Chelemba, who built a company that he sold to SAP. Okay, he built a SAP consulting company in Zambia, and he sold it to SAP. And Simon Stockley founded SA Home Loans, and I was really, really amazed to find out, oh, Simon, you formed SA Home Loans. Like, I bought my third house using SA Home Loans. Like, oh, cool, wow, that's super, super cool. You know, people like that who built something amazing, and he's worked in other parts of Africa, he's worked in the Middle East, and super knowledgeable, knows finance, and he looks at your business, he can tell you, look, think about this, do that. That's what you learn from people like Nicole, super super like talented in terms of like helping you build out in the super early stages. Like, how do you build a business that people a product that people will buy, people will pay for? What are the questions you ask? What do you do? Okay. Ariel Sumeruk, this is somebody who's genius, a guru in digital marketing. How many of you we just been told do digital marketing, and you want to make money in digital marketing, and then all the money just goes into the Facebook black hole, and nothing comes out. But people like Ariel will tell you what you need to look at. Like, look at this, do that, and instead of doing this, do this. That's the value that you're gonna get on this program. These people, like, if you're spending time with them, like, first of all, it's very hard to get one-on-one times with them. And then if you do, it'll cost you a lot of money. But on the program, you get access to a diversity of mentors and people like Tyrone Adams. Tyrone is the CTO of Skywalk Innovation. He is a master, Jedi master at building the right MVPs. So a lot of people have got MVPs. I've got an MVP. I need to just find a way of just getting an MVP paid for. Tyrone will take you back, like, okay, let's go to the questions. Like, what are we building? What's the most important thing that should be in this feature? What are we testing? And initially, it feels like, but Tyrone, I just want to build an MVP. I'll pay you money for the MVP. Like, MVP is minimal viable product. We need to know what are we testing, and then Tyrone will tell you, like, look, then from the questions that you've answered, and from the answers you've given, this is what you need to focus on. He did MVPs for me, which was like super cool, something low cost, and it delivers the message. I'm showing people my minimum viable product. They go, wow, how cool! I want to invest. So you can use an MVP to raise money, especially for tech products that people need to see how they work. And then, of course, we got our investors. We got people like Dhruv. Dhruv Pandit from Kenya. So he invests in other parts of Africa. He invests in West Africa, invests in SADC. He was one of the investors in Kaylee's business, by the way. And then we have Sarah and Jake and Lelemba. They're all part of Enigma Ventures. They invest in SADC, and the Shift Fund invests in both men and women, and then the Enigma Fund invests in women businesses. Then we have people like E from West Africa. He invests in companies there in West Africa. Really brilliant guy, and for him, because he built a business, he's an entrepreneur who built a business like from scratch. So he invests really early without asking like too many tough questions, because he can help you build a great company. But then you need to pitch to these investors in order to access the capital, right? Because they also want to know, like, are you the right person? What are your chances of success? And Eric as well, Chanzo Capital is from Ghana and Nigeria, brilliant entrepreneur, investor, and Vuisa Kabaka also from from Hyper Group. He invests in Nigeria and South Africa, and also somebody who gives like super valuable feedback if you don't get investment from him. So these are some of the people that you are going to get access to. And what you get on the Startup Circus program, the launch, is you're going to get personalized learning from experts. So you get, on one day, you learn a specific lesson. Then during the week, you start implementing that. And then when you pitch, we see where the areas where you need to focus on, and we help you to polish that. You get personal world-class coaching and mentoring. You get your investor readiness score. You know exactly which areas are great and which areas are weak. And we have the meeting investor sessions, then the weekly pitch, and then with traction accountability. Then you get into a community of like-minded entrepreneurs. We've got a WhatsApp group, Facebook group, Telegram groups where we support each other, and we hold you accountable. So the mistake that I know, like Pierre keeps saying, emphasizing the mistakes that a lot of people make, it's because mistakes cost you money, they cost you time. A lot of people, the mistake they make is they take too long to try things out and to gain traction. So at Startup Circles, we hold you accountable. So like when you start in the program, we say, go and sell this. Like, I haven't built it yet. Like, no, go and sell it. It's like, but I'll just sell it. So, cool. Here's how you sell something you haven't built yet. And then we teach you that. Then go, oh, cool. Then you sell it. Oh, somebody has bought. I need now to find a way to make it. Like, cool. So within the 1 month, like on a weekly basis, we hold you accountable. And then within the 1 month, you raise. you start getting revenue, or you learn very quickly that I need to pivot. I don't have a business here. I don't have a business here. Need to change. Then we have bonus perks. Everybody that comes on the program gets access to AWS, Amazon Web Services credits, worth $5,000, where you can build your product on AWS. You get business support, all of that. Then Freshworks, $2,500, and HubSpot discounts of $8,000, and all of that all these are the things that you get on the program. So any guesses, like how much do you think this program costs? Okay, so this program right now, you're seeing like there's bonuses of over $15,000. Bonuses alone, $15,000, and access to the people that ordinarily you don't have access to. But also think about, if you do a program like this. I did one program in Bali, Indonesia, and in that program I spent for the full program I spent $8,000, and then I was on a coaching program which cost $12,000. Okay, and then I did an MBA. The MBA taught me, like, you could have made me a good management consultant, but not an entrepreneur. You could have made me a good um, corporate worker, but not an entrepreneur. And that MBA cost something like $15,000. So, how much do you think this program costs? Okay, it's not $10,000. It's not $5,000. It's not $2,000. It's less than $1,000. This program only goes for $895 once off. Or if you want to pay in installments, it costs $379. And think about what you get out of this. Like, worst case scenario is that you will know exactly where you stand as a business as you're starting out, saying, okay, I know that this business will not work, or I know what I need to work on for my business. I need to save you way more than that. Some of the people who came onto this program say, like, look, I've spent 250,000 rand, which is I spent about $50,000 on an MVP, and still nobody's buying anything from me. Another person says, I've got these licenses and all that for 2.5 million rand, which is again like um, about $100,000 or so. Another person came onto the program, said, look, I have spent 50,000 rand on an idea, and I want you to help me market it. Say, we can't market something that people don't want to buy. Okay, so just getting through this program will save you lots and lots of money. Yeah, so that's what it is. And then the good thing, it's like, instead of going for an MBA where you pay $12,000, you only pay $895 on lunch. But even in your corporate job, if you decide, like, look, entrepreneurship is not working, in your company you will know the things to focus on to produce results for your ideas or your innovation ideas. But then the best thing that would happen is that if you excel, you might be like Kaylee from Aya, who, after going through this program, actually got an investment of $25,000. What's the return in this, right? And same thing, we have people like Lelet who got raised $25,000, and people like Lauren and Mark, Core Academy, raised $25,000. Michelle is raising about $1 million. So there is really, like Michelle said, like, what's there to lose? Instead, when you don't go on a program like this that offers you an opportunity like this, you actually continue to lose the time that you're spending on right now. You continue to lose the money that you're spending on the wrong things. There are people who are building stuff that think that if I build this, then people will buy. And then you also continue to struggle with people asking you, like, hey, when is this thing gonna take off? Like you've been an entrepreneur, but we're not seeing any results. And I know that feeling. Like I've been an entrepreneur where I was like completely broke because I wanted my idea to work, and then now I start getting like people offering me jobs. Like, hey, but why did you quit your job? Oh, by the way, I found somebody who's looking for to hire. You know, and because they're saying, hey, this thing is not working, and it's the same thing for self-esteem as well. Like, how much is that worth to you and respect of your loved ones and all those people that are saying, hey, when is this going to work? So for $895, you can sign up today. The program is open, and then we close because we only take a certain number of people on the program until we open again next month, late next month, and you can wait, and then you can join another time. But again, how much are you spending in terms of time and money every month, every week, every day? Okay. And then there's an early sign up bonus. So for all the people, so there's some people who have got who received scholarships from Enigma Ventures and Startup Circles and the different type of scholarships. Some people got 100% scholarship. Well done, sign up. And then other people got their 25% scholarships, and other people got 50% scholarships. Sign up, use your code to sign up, and then those that sign up early will get a strategy session in like soon. Just a strategy session that helps you think through your business, and which is like personalized for you. This alone is worth another 9,000 in terms of the dollars. It's worth $500 just to see it through, look at your business and what you can do for it. Okay. So the program is open. Welcome, welcome, and we will leave it open for the next few days, and it will close. Then we start the program on. I think we start the program on Tuesday. Okay. So some of the questions that people ask is that, you know what, I'm not sure if this program will work for me because I've been through programs like this before, or I've been through an accelerator, and I don't want to go through an accelerator again. Like that, I can understand because a lot of accelerators are taught by employees. Accelerator owners are taking a salary, and they've never built a company themselves. And then you only meet the investors on your demo day after 3 months or 6 months. And then how I've been invited to demo days, but I've also been pitching and then we invited to demo day like, hey, we're looking for judges. Judges, for us, we don't have judges, we have investors. So judging is like it's a game, like people just giving feedback. But for us, it's actually investors who are saying, hey, you know what? For me to invest, I want to see this and see this and see this. Or like cases like Kaylee where he says, hey, I like what you're presenting. I want to invest right now. Can we do that? Like, yes. So that's what we do. Then other people think like, look, I'm not sure about money. Okay. So the question really is like, how much are you spending right now on all your efforts? How much are you spending? And what if you spent this money and knew exactly what you need to work on? And whether you decide to raise money or not, but you know how to create a valuable business, how much is that worth to you? Because right now, if you're not making money, you're losing money. Okay? You're losing money. Quantify that. That's money that's being lost all the time. Then another question is like, what if it doesn't work? Like, I mean, what if I don't like it? I just realized that, look, I don't want to build an investable business. I'm happy with my lifestyle business. I'm also happy with just having a side house so that I keep funding with my business. And I'm also happy that as a team, we love to just talk about ideas. I don't want to build anything. And can I cancel? Yes, you can cancel anytime. Okay, so there is no risk. You can cancel anytime. If you stay with us like 1 month, you feel like, it's not working for me. Can I get a refund? We'll give you a refund. Okay. And that's perfectly okay. Like, no hard feelings. Yeah. And another question that people ask is like, okay, how does it work? How much time? Okay, before I talk about guest mentors, how much time is this going to be? The time that you put in is the time working on your business. Okay, so the time depends really on where you are. If we tell you, like, look, this is how you ask the questions, this is what you do, and then the time that you spend working on your business is the time you put in. So the program is structured that on the Tuesday, on one of the days in the evening, we work on giving you very specific techniques, and then you have office hours where you talk to the any of our investors or founders, and then you practice your pitch on Thursday, and with that we also check your traction. So we hold you accountable. We say, hey, you said you're gonna sell this. Why didn't you sell? We've had people come in and say, I've got one letter of intent. So no, one letter of intent is not good enough. They said, COVID and all of that. So no, it's call people, don't visit them, just call, let them give you letters of intent, because investors want to see that. And when they came back the next week, they said, we've got 7 letters of intent. Think about it. Went from I've got 1 to 7. Then another person I said, I've got 11 customers that I've got now. Investors want to see 20 customers. I think this will take us a few months. I said, no. You can do this. Pick up the phone, do this. This is a script that you can use. And the person signed up like 20 more customers within the following week. So we guide you to get your results. So before we talk about the guest mentors, these are some of the members, some of the people that are part of the Startup Circles communities, and some of the things we do. This was the time that we went to Mauritius with some of the people that we got, and this was people we took to Silicon Valley as part of the alumni, and then the guests, the mentors and people that we have on the program are people like Steve Blank. Imagine, like, legendary Steve Blank talking to you and explaining to you how to do your customer interviews, how to get outside the building and learn those type of questions. Then people like Andy Raskin. Andy Raskin is a storytelling guru, somebody who knows, like, okay, this is how you craft your story so that it changes how people perceive it when you're storytelling to your customers and to your investors and to your staff. And people like Sri Ram Krishnan, he's worked with 2 unicorns, companies that are worth over $1 billion. He worked with Spotify, then he also worked with Tinder. So imagine somebody who thinks like how you create a product that's used by millions of people around the world. He grew the company from 6 markets to over 50 markets. And Nia Al talks about products. How do you create a product that is habit forming? Like, when you get up in the morning, you check your WhatsApp, and check your Instagram, you check your Facebook. Why? What are the things that you can do to make your product be like that? And that's called the hooked model. He's the guy that wrote the book Hooked. And these are the people that we chat to, and the people that you get to listen to. And of course, people like DHH. DHH is the CTO and co-founder of Basecamp. He's got a very unique philosophy on, like, how do you create a company that just works for you the way you want and creates the lifestyle you want, and you can raise money you want whenever you want and still give a great service. So these are some of the people that you get to listen to. Okay, so I'll get into the questions. Now, if you got any questions, anybody that has questions around the program, I'll take those questions, and then also I'll answer some of the questions that people had. Circle Pod, so it says, if you're looking for 100,000 funding, as an example, how much percentage of the company can you give to the funder? So that depends on how much revenue you are making. If you're looking for 100,000, you're not making any money. 100, and then the market and everything you've done is like close to that. It's a huge chunk of your business that you would be giving away. So investors will also tell you, like, look, you need to generate this type of revenue for us to get this percentage of your company. So a lot of your good investors don't want to take up more than 40% of your business. They want you to stay motivated and stay in charge. Okay. Any other questions? So here I'd like to just know, like, people got questions, and also questions around the program that we are launching, and if you want to know how it works, how you get started, or how you can anything that you want to know about it, happy to answer that. Okay. And then also ask my team to type to share in the chat box the link to the sign up page. We are opening the cart for the program for the next for 5 days, and then we close. Okay, so think about the opportunity that's here right now, and that actually this could transform your life in a big way. And if you're again, this program is not for everybody. It's for people who want to saying, look, I'm tired of getting the results I've been getting. Maybe I need to listen to somebody else help me to see things differently. I remember when I was I built my company. Um, I built my company around education, and for the longest time, people said the way you have built your company, your model sounds more like charity, like you want to just help people out. I said, yeah, I want to help people out, but it sounds like you're not going to make money. Like, no, I'm going to make money. Like, no, but the way it's sounding, like maybe don't use words like, and then they told me specific words not to use, like, oh, startup, and that time it was Africa Trust Academy, helps people to do this. Like, if you do that, it doesn't sound great. Then I changed the message and learned and pitched again and pitched again. And finally, I also learned, like, oh, actually, I haven't been looking at my business commercially, because I had another business running, so there was money coming from there. And then the time when I quit my job to run this business full time, my wife was working, and because she's got money, and I was just, like, she was funding me, but I didn't have accountability, and because of that, the business I was building wasn't growing. So the moment I now brought in other people to look at my business, say, why are you doing this? How much are you charging for this? Why are you charging so much? Like, oh, they asked me all these tough questions. But when I answered those questions, the business shifted. Like, wow. And those of you who've seen how Startup Circle started, we have been learning, we practice what we preach, and we've made a major difference. Okay. So Tawia Egan says, since the program exposes one to investors monthly, should those signing up be at the stage where they are already able to show traction? No, we will show you that. Like, we will show you what the traction that you can um, achieve in your business, depending on where you are. Okay? So there are certain people who are coming in with ideas. Like the people that I mentioned, Core Academy had an idea, like zero traction. Just think like, oh, we're thinking of creating a different type of school. Like, okay, what type of school? Oh, we're thinking it could be this, could be that. Can you show us how it would work? They said, oh, this is how it works. I said, good. Now you need to get traction. Like, traction. Like, yeah. They said, no, we're planning to launch in 3 months' time. And you know, a startup cycles, like 3 months, you got money to burn for 3 months. Like, no, 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 launch next week. How do we launch next week? Say, you can launch next week. Put up a page and tell people like, hey, we're enrolling people in this type of school. And did it really? Like, yeah. And then they did. And then they got people asking questions, and a few people signed up. But from the question, then they refined it. Like, okay, this is a question we are receiving a lot. Let's change it. And the time they came to pitch again, and this is, remember, this is weekly pitch practice. Within a week, they had people signing up on the wait list. And then the difference again, we teach you that think commercially, because you want to build a business that works. Okay? Commercially. So when you're asking Tawaya, saying if you're going to get people on your wait list, you don't say, hey, we've got a school, just tell us if you're interested. You say, hey, we've got a school that will cost $1,000. Sign up, so that we let you know when we're open for a limited period. And then people already know it's $1,000, and then they sign up. Then your data quality, your validation is like way more powerful than somebody says, I've got 1,000 users who I haven't told that I'm going to charge this. So just users don't mean much. Okay, you need people saying yes, I'll pay, and you could have 5 people that are paying you. That's way more powerful than 100 people that just said, yeah, I'm interested. Because if I tell all my friends like, hey, there's this person with a cool idea, they will sign up. And if we ask people in our WhatsApp group like, hey, there's this new business, they will sign up. But it doesn't mean that when you say pay, they will pay. That's what you do. Okay. So Daphne Kasambala, what's been the success rate for founders matching with investors in your previous cohorts? So in our previous cohorts, like every cohort has had somebody raise investment. We've had about, if it's percentage wise, it's been about 10 to 25% who raise money. And then the ones who haven't raised, like it's for different reasons. Some it's because they pivoted many times. They realized like, look, I actually was so passionate about this idea, but I realized that I can't run it commercially. I'll continue to run it as a side hustle, or I'll continue to just run it as a lifestyle business. Then others actually pivoted completely, where they're saying, you know what, I thought there was this big market for this software as a service platform, but the competition is tough. So they said, wow, you've saved me so much time and money, because we had a budget, we got a quotation to build this out for 150,000 rand, and thank you, because of your program I just paid 15,000 rand. I have saved myself all of this money. And then other people, it's like, okay, everything is fine, but my traction is not at the stage where investors will look at it. So it's saying, look, you've only sold like $10,000. We're looking to invest when you've sold $100,000, and so you're on the right track. So the people who go through our program still remain in the alumni, and we have the catch ups, and they say, hey, things have changed now. Look what I've done, and then you pitch again. So you will still pitch. Um, you will still pitch to the investors as long as you're part of the alumni. Okay. Then there was a question from a question from Daphne. There was a question from I think it's from Kenya. Somebody was asking like, how does it work for people outside South Africa? So Startup Circles is global. We have entrepreneurs from different parts of Africa and different countries in Africa, and we also have entrepreneurs from Sweden, from Slovenia, from the UK, from the US, and now we're getting people like from interest from India as well. So we're a global company. We're getting a lot more traction because people seeing that, wow, instead of spending all this money on an MBA, I could just spend it on a program on Startup Circles. And actually, instead of just getting a piece of paper, when I excel, I get money. So that's how our programs are working. Okay. Any other questions? So, question is for you: is this a bad time to get started on this program? That's a question for you, all of you on the program. Is it a bad time for you to start on this program? Okay. And also, how can you minimize your losses? You look at how far you've gone, look at the work you've put in, and then look at your results. Do you want to continue doing what you're doing and get the results that you're getting? Okay. Do you feel that maybe there's the value? Some people say, like, look, I've learned a lot from the 3 days and I'm going to implement that. Yes, that's fantastic. By all means, do it. Go and implement. Okay. And you can just, afterwards, you can send a one-line pitch and to show us your traction. And then that's cool, right? But then for us, it's really, the question for you is like, do you feel you're committed enough, you're passionate enough about your business and what you want to build and your dream and your legacy, and you're feeling like, look, you know what? I want to shortcut this process. I've been running around chasing my tail. I've tried these many different things, talked to different people, been on different programs, and I've been working hard, and I am struggling to pay my rent and all of that. I want something to change. If that's the case, then the program is for you. So and then also I'd like to emphasize that this program is not for everybody. So if you're building a business like a lifestyle business, you just wanted to like part time, this program is not for you. And then if you're thinking about do if your company is a charity, okay, it's not commercial, you're not thinking of making money and producing returns and creating something big for yourself and for your family and for your investors, this program is not for you. And then also if you're looking for just theory, like learning what is entrepreneurship, this the business model canvas, um, these are the like what are the possible ways of raising a capital, and then also things like how to register a company. This business is not for you, because all of that stuff you can just get online, from YouTube and Google it. You can learn that. But for us, it's practical because we want you to get results. Okay, so we are practical. We're saying, look, for those people say, hey, I am busy, I only need to learn what I need to just make this work. That's what Startup Circles is about. Okay, so the people still on the program, on the call, we're about to close. We're just gonna close in the next few minutes, but I'll take any questions that you might have at the moment, saying regarding the course. And then if you sign up today, we will throw in that strategy session, where we look at your business specifically to help you shortcut this process. And then as you're going through this, remember, we will teach you how to pitch in 3 minutes. And also, the work that we give you is work on your business. And then we hold you accountable to traction. Like, hey, you spend money. What are you doing? You need to make money. And we will hold you to that. So, again, if you don't want to make money, this business is not for you. And also, if you're feeling like, okay, money is evil, it's not for me, definitely this program is not for you. Okay. So some of you here might be thinking like, okay, my issue is like, maybe it's like payment, like how do I make this happen? Think about, think of, be an entrepreneur, think about like, oh, how can I make this happen? Instead of thinking, I can't afford it, think like, how can I afford it? Can I move a few things and reduce a few things and shift the budget that I was going to spend on building my startup? Instead, I move it to actually investing in this business so I know what to build. So the mistake a lot of people are making is saying, I have hired people to build this out. I'm spending 100,000 rand. I'm spending $10,000 on building this. Like, you're building stuff. When you build it, it doesn't mean people will pay or people will buy. And a lot of you have got that experience. That you got these businesses are running, and some money trickles in from time to time, but it doesn't really work. And just saying, look, something needs to change. So just shift that, saying, I am going to spend some time to learn this. Then also, this program is not for you if you're thinking like you're looking for just a get rich quick scheme, saying, okay, I want just, I'll pay for the program, and then just tell me, just give me investors that will just invest in me. Like, it doesn't work like that. You need to put in work. So if you don't want to put in work, again, the program won't work. It's like, we will teach you, all the people that have shown you, like the amazing people that are on the program, they will give you guidance and feedback. It's like you paid a personal trainer, and they will not do the push-ups for you. You have to put in the work, but they will guide you. Say, look, no, no, no. If you want to lose weight, you need to do full body workouts and do weights and push this. But you say, no, no, no. I know what I want. I just want to do sit-ups because I want to lose belly fat. I tell you, like, no, it doesn't work like that. And it's the same thing when we're getting people on the program. Like, certain people, again, like us, so set in their ways, they're doing stuff that is not working and it's not making money and it's not attracting investors. but they're so set because they believe what they believe, and there's some things worked a long time ago, they're not working anymore, but they don't want to change that. That is a problem again. And then if you come onto the program like this, you hire experts and people have done it before, but you're not ready to listen to them. It's a waste of your money. So if that's the case, again, this program is not for you. But if you believe in your dream, if you believe in your dream and you know, like, look, you know what, I'm tired of just doing this, like, and not getting the results I want. And then also I know, like, okay, maybe I've got a team of founders, all of us just love to talk about things, but we're not delivering, we're not getting money. I want this to change. I'm tired of just doing the same things. It's been a year or 2 years or 3 years and we haven't made progress. Then this program is for you. If you're saying, look, I've won awards, people love what I do, but I'm not making money, I'm broke, this program is for you. If you're saying, look, I think I've got something, and people are showing interest in what I've got, and now it's time, like, I want to take it up a notch. I want to put fire in this and dedicate like 3 months working on this and making it happen instead of 3 years to just shooting in the dark. This program is for you. Okay? Great. So, I once again, I just encourage you to go to startupcircles.ai after we close this call to join the program, and we're gonna close. The program won't be open again when we close for the next week, for some time, and then we are going to start that course. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to working with you. It's super cool. If there are any questions that you still have, you have our email address, start at startupcircles.ai, and just let us know. So if you found this session useful, type 1 in the chat box. And also would like to know if you've already signed up and or you're thinking of signing up, just type that I'm in. Like, whether you are thinking about signing up or you have signed up, type in the chat box, say in or I'm in. It would be good to see the people that have signed up. I've seen a few people, like a few names have popped up already, saying, oh, people have signed up in the program, which is cool. So that's really entrepreneurial. We have people who are decisive, quick, and they made up their minds, like, look, I'm making this happen. Fantastic. Well done. Well done. And some of you need to convince your, maybe your spouse or your parent or your children, um, or your boyfriend or girlfriend, saying, hey, your partner saying, look, I want to do this program, this is what I want to do now. um, I need I need you to support me on this. Just have a conversation with them, and then if you also feel like, okay, they need to they need to they need, maybe they've got some questions to ask, by all means shoot those questions through to us, and then we will answer them. Okay, so looking forward to having you on the program, everybody. Okay, looking forward. um, yeah, Kenan says thank you for another splendid session. While there may be a gap in the market, make certain there's market in the gap. Phenomenal power of wisdom. Cool. Thanks, Ken. And thanks, Daphne, for the questions. Looking forward to having you on the program. Thanks, Patience. Thank you. Count me in. Fantastic, Patience. We'll see you in the program. So, yes, good. Oh, yeah, seeing lots of people joining already. Well done. And then for everybody else, remember the program starts on Tuesday. I think I'm right. It's Tuesday or Monday. But yes, it starts next week. We're super excited, and right away you will jump in. And we are looking forward to seeing your business grow and your dream coming true, so that people now see that you're not crazy. You know? Like, tired of just trying to prove, like, one day this good thing is going to work, and like, now finally I see how it's going to work. Or you can decisively say, like, no, 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 I'm seeing how it's not going to work this way. And you make a few tweaks. So fantastic. Looking forward to having you. Yes, thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. You're gonna get an email from us with some info on signing up on the program, And by all means, sign up. And then um, if you have any problems, just pop us a mail and we'll get started. We'll send you the welcome emails, and we look forward to having you on the program. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Looking forward to